Well, I am so excited for today's episode, guys, because this is what we have been waiting for in your life for 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the moment. This is the moment.
Yes.
Faith can feel like hearts and butterflies until someone lights a match and burns it all to the ground. Welcome to the Burning Butterflies podcast.
The sad thing is that there's abuse of every kind within the church. But the spiritual abuse is the stuff that just
What's a place there shouldn't be abuse? Like, there just shouldn't be abuse in a place that claims Jesus.
Well, it ruins your soul. If you're new here, we suggest listening to our prologue episode first. This is the story of two women's journey through toxic church culture and spiritual abuse, all while finding healing in the end.
Sometimes it's just the facts, and if you get offended by it, that's a you issue. And if we can't be mature enough to have these conversations, even if some of the topics are difficult, then shame on us.
Okay, well, I've talked about plotting. I've talked about I'm getting a little ballsy with my attitude because I know that I'm done and I know that this plan is going to happen. And I know that I've gotten myself to a place where it's going to be tough. It's scary, but I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have figured out now. So I get a paycheck on the 22nd of June. I have stashed enough money aside to where I feel like I can move out of my house, get a weekly motel, pack up whatever I can, my kids, whatever, leave everything else in the house, and go hide.
Yeah.
In a week. I mean, hide. I'm going to really hide out, right? You know where I work, right? I'm working every afternoon. My two youngest daughters.
Yeah.
And I am going to pack them up, those two. And I get paid on the 22nd, and I'm going to go get a long-term hotel. I'm going to still go to work. There happens to be, like, I'm really a genius here, right? There's a weekly motel, like a stone's throw from my work at this point, right? So, but seriously, they'll be across the street. If I need to bring them to my work, I feel like there's enough people there, right? That's safety. Like, I'm protected.
And they're close enough that if you leave them in the hotel room and you go to work and God forbid Froggy finds out and shows up, you can be there like that.
In 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And they can come over to me, right?
Yes.
Like, they're teenagers. These aren't like 2 and 3 year olds. So when I'm going to leave like teenagers, doing their schoolwork, I trust them enough, right? And they could come to work with me in the afternoons and sit, in a booth or whatever, right? At the restaurant. Like, I have a support network that will help me there. And I have people, if they need to go over there and help them or be with them, that I trust, right?
Yeah.
I also have adult children. Like, I feel safe enough to do this. So I decide on the 22nd that this is going to happen. Well, we wake up on the 12th of June, and we have one of our typical mornings of Froggy loses his crap, right? And so, like, everything is going fine. Like, it's a nice morning, whatever. We wake up, we're having it's like a nice Saturday morning, right? And then something flips the switch and he loses his ever-loving mind. And it turns into this huge ordeal. And of course, I know in a week, like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so I'm not thinking about, like, I'm not thinking about the plan in any way, shape, or form in this headspace. I'm thinking, get out. You need to leave. Like, we're done. Get out. Not doing this anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not waiting another 10 days. We're doing this today.
Right. And I'm not even thinking that like consciously.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I'm like, I'm done. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not engaging in this argument with you. I don't care. Go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is all that I keep saying very directly is I'm like, I'm done. You can go. You can leave. You don't like it. Get out. Like, these are the only things that I'm repeating in this argument. And he is flipping out. Just like, this goes from like, we were in our bedroom to like trying to leave and get away from him, like the last of the doors being broken. If there's any safe space, my children know, who's ever at home, to go downstairs. And actually, I think my older daughter was still living with us at the time, even though she was 18, because she was there that day. So she would have been part of my plan to leave. Like, I would have taken her too, right?
And so I know you said before when we've talked about this in previous episodes about like how sometimes you wouldn't even know why he was mad. He was just mad. Like, do you remember anything he was screaming that day? It was just like, you suck. And we just decided we're mad at you.
No. So he was mad because, like, I always get like uncomfortable in these topics, but whatever. So he has some telltale signs of being a drug addict, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like, drugs do things to the body so that things don't work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had wanted to be intimate, but because he was using, he was not able.
That made it difficult. Yes.
Yes, that made it difficult. So that's what he was mad about.
And of course, it's your fault.
And it's my fault because I think he's a drug addict.
Well,
you just think that I'm doing drugs. Yeah, I do. We've been saying this for the last few weeks now. Like, this is not. Oh, and I think he has a demon and that he's evil. And that I'm like, well, let's just say, like, I was at the point of calling him out for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I was like, where's the fruit? Like, you are, are you saved? Because I don't see evidence of it. I'm sick. No, I don't think you are. You make choices. And this is not in this moment, right?
Yeah.
The whole argument was he saying all these things that we had been having little mini arguments about for like the last few
weeks. So he's bringing up all the things from
everything
past
that we talked about in the last month, right? Where I am calling him out at this point continually. Like, nope, you can't lie to me. No, I don't believe you. No, that's fake. No, that's false news. Every conversation in the last month, ever since I called him out at that Bible study. So maybe we've been a few months now. I'm just like, nope, don't believe you. Nope, that's not true. Nope, that's a lie. Nope, you're doing this. I'm not. Yeah, you are. Like, there's other evidence of it, and not just that. But so that's what starts the morning. Like, but really nice, like a really nice, lazy morning on a Saturday. And then, he's a flippin' psycho.
Yeah.
And so he's constantly bringing up everything that I've said in the last few months. And I'm just like, if you don't like it, you can leave. You know where the door is. Get out of my house. Like, go. Yeah. Just go. Why are we doing this? Just go. You have obviously chosen your lifestyle. Go do it. Right. And I am using short, direct phrases and not engaging while also running around my house being chased down.
Yeah. Like trying to get away. Yeah.
Right. So I finally...
Is he being like physically intimidating to you?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So he had me held up in our walk-in closet. And I finally got out, like trying to get out of my room during the first part of this engagement. like, I ended up, like, if you're in my room, you could go out the door or you could go into the bathroom walk-in closet, right? And I couldn't get to the door, so I ended up in the closet, like, just trying to, like, bob and weave and dodge him.
Yeah.
Right? And him hitting things and whatever, right? And throwing things. So I finally get away. I get out of the closet. I get out of the room. And then we're on the main level and he's just ranting and raving. And now he brings up money. Okay. So this was the time of like stimulus checks.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we'd got like, I think there were like 2 rounds of stimulus checks.
Yeah.
So we had gotten our tax return, and the thing that we did, because he came into the relationship with huge child support debt. And so, I mean, we're talking like $30,000, $40,000 in child support debt. And so whenever we filed our taxes, I always filed the form to not be responsible for his child support debt. So the IRS would split our tax return.
Yeah, you would get your stuff and he would
we would get a return for what I brought to the table, and his return would go to pay off his child support debt. And so over the course of the 9 years, we had gotten down to like owing very little. Like our tax returns had paid off his debt. And he was making payments. So like,
and he's no longer accruing it because his children are old enough that it's not like you're adding on every year and still trying to pay off back debt.
Yeah. No, at this point, our daughters were both turning 18 and had turned 18. But over the 9 years, he was paying regular child support and the debt towards the debt every month.
Mm-hmm.
So between him making now regular payments and paying it down and our tax returns, he was down to like very little left owed at this point.
Yeah.
And so we had gotten my tax return portion back. And of course, as a family and as a couple, we made decisions. And in our house, the way that goes is what Froggy says, Froggy gets.
Well, because that is biblical householdness. You are submitting to your husband, Melissa. You're just being the good little Christian wife that you are supposed to be.
Yeah. So we had gotten our tax return, and we had gotten like the stimulus check in April that had come out. And so decisions were made with that, right? And there was something, I don't remember what it was, that Froggy reluctantly agreed to, right? And so we had made a decision, and it was for the family or whatever. But I want to say that it was like something to the tune of like $5,000, right? Was like the whole thing. But there was one small portion of that we had done something that I actually was like, this is the best decision for us at this time, right? This is what we need to do. And he wasn't on board. Right. So it wasn't for $5,000 that he wasn't aboard, but we're talking about the entire amount of money.
Yeah.
Being around like $5,000. And a portion of that had gone to something that I had chose and not him. Okay. And I cannot for the life of me remember what that is, but also remember that his portion of the tax return has gone to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you're making a decision of what to do with your money.
Essentially.
And he's
for like the tiniest little bit. I don't even remember what it was. I really honestly have blocked. I don't even know. Right. But it was dumb. Okay. So we get to June. And so now we're downstairs and this argument is continuing. And now all of these things, because the way Froggy works is there's 5 things that he has not dealt with in his life, 5 traumas that hit 5 things. And every time that he flips out, we have the same 5 conversations over. And it's just a reel. It's a loop. And the words may be different. The thing that sparked it may be different. But it's the same subject matter. And he goes through dredging up whatever has happened recently that relates to one of these 5 topics of what he has repressed in himself. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the strangest thing to me. I mean, like, as somebody who started studying psychology, like self-taught, self-learned, just an interest. I'm so interested in how the mind and behavior, I love it, right? I still to this day read like now I'm reading neuroscience books, right? Because I'm like, this is such a great field. To see these things real life,
Yeah.
like,
And then you're
maybe
like,
that's the only
oh,
joy I got out of this. I'm like, holy cow, like you are page 397
yeah,
of the DSM right now.
you are textbook, sir.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the level of watching it actually come into real life. So,
Yeah. Which I think that would be something really interesting that we can dive into over on our Patreon
mhm,
is kind of that mindset behind it and even what you were going through at the time, because I'm sure some of our listeners are like, well, it's about frickin' time, Melissa. Like,
yeah,
and this was all over being intimate. How the hell can you even think of doing that? If you're planning on leaving him in 10 days, like,
yeah.
and
Well, you don't have a
the
choice
this
these days.
yeah the self-preservation and all of that,
Yeah,
but it all feeds into that dynamic of where your mindset is at the time, and he was dealing with his trauma and you're in survival mode, and when those two things are together, that can sometimes be a very toxic mix.
yeah,
And so I think that'd be a really great conversation to have over on our Patreon.
yeah. That sounds great. I like it. Yeah. So, but anyway, like, so now he brings up money, right? And now I owe him $5,000 because we spent all of the tax refund and that stimulus or whatever on what I wanted, and he had no say. And, when really and I'm like, no, we spent the money on everything you agreed upon. Like, I don't owe you money, right? Like, and I don't remember. I wish I remembered all the details. I just don't. I just know that it was an absolute ludicrous thing that like I now owe him $5,000, right? And so but we're going through all of the different I got to be mad about these 5 things, and these 5 things are all your fault, so it's going round and round. So I'm done. I'm done at this point. Like this was not a long interact. I mean, we're probably 10, 15, 20 minutes of this, and I'm done. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. And I go downstairs. My kids are in the basement watching. They got the TV blaring from the basement, right? So they can't hear it.
Yeah, they're trying to drown out the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a protocol. You go down to the basement, turn on the TV, watch a movie. It'll all be over shortly, right? And so I just go downstairs. I slam the door. I go downstairs. I'm like, and he's up there for another few minutes, right? Like, I couldn't even tell you the actual perception of time because, you get the whole perception.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do I call the cops, which you're conditioned not to do?
Yeah.
And I know people are like, why don't you just call the cops? No, I've never called the cops because you have a deadly fear that they're going to take your children. Like, I am convinced that if I call the cops, this is all my fault because I allowed him in and I've allowed him to stay, and I'm putting my children in harm's way, and they're going to take my children away from me.
And I just want to remind our listeners also of all the episodes we've shared leading up to this of, you had to move into Tom and Charlotte's house because your daughter, the neighbor,
called the cops.
Like,
Yeah. And I'm
your
told by these respected people in the community, like, this is my fault.
Yeah, and your past, even before you even moved to Colorado, all of those things are accumulated into why you are making this decision right now.
Yeah. So I am debating, do I call the cops or do I call Tom?
Yeah.
Right? What do I do? So I mean, this all could have happened in 30 seconds. It all could have happened and it felt like an eternity, right? So
while he's upstairs, like, can you hear him? He's still like,
yeah. I am. My kids have the TV on and I'm just like, what do I do? 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 And so I'm like, and I am good under pressure. Like if I'm one of those people who, like if I come upon like an accident scene or whatever, I'd be like, we're doing this, and totally calm, and then freak out and break down like later. But also in the state of mind that I've been in for the last 9 years in this situation, like decision fatigue, like I can, like it's I am in
paralyzing.
such a state, of stress and paralyzation. And so I walk over to like, so if you come down the stairs in my house, like at first I'm in the entryway of the stairs to the basement, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do. 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 And my daughter's like, it's okay, Mom. You know, like I know my 3 daughters are down there. And so then I just go over to the other side of the couch at like the furthest corner from the entrance. And I just sit down on the arm of the couch. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And I try to bring myself into this place of like, this is where reality of like, I need this man out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
We are done. I'm moving out in 10 days. Like I'm done. Like I know I'm done, but I don't go as far to think about, like I have no conscious of like, if he leaves now, I don't have to move out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't cross my mind. I'm just like, I'm leaving. We're done. I need you out of my house. So I'm still thinking I'm leaving in like 10 days, right? It doesn't occur to me that if he leaves, I don't have to move out of my house yet. But so that's what I'm doing. And then he comes down the stairs, which is like never happened. So he's upstairs ranting and raving and yelling about money and going through his cycle.
Big mad enough. This is the first time he's ever followed you down.
Yeah, he has never gone downstairs ever. And I'm just like, so I decide in that moment, like almost like to wait it out. And I don't feel like I made that decision consciously. I just sat down and I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became like, I think I was just going to wait, let him calm down or leave. Like, you need to calm down or leave. Because he's like, I'm leaving. I'm not leaving because I don't have anything. This is where he's at. He's going back and forth between like refusing to leave and I'm gonna leave. Because I think maybe he realized like if he leaves, he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he has a conscious thought at this moment because he's just going on. Like, I'll leave when you give me money. Like, you owe me. And he's just up there yelling, but he doesn't want to leave because he has nothing.
Yeah.
Like, fine, I'll pack up my stuff. And he's like, I don't even have anything. Like, you know, so he's just going cycle, spiral.
That was my question is, do you think like while you went downstairs, he was ranting and raving and was like, fine, I'll just leave then. I'll just leave then. And then he started to like really think about what that would look like. And then he's like, oh shit.
I'm not leaving because I have to go to my mom and dad's and you owe me $5,000.
Yeah, I'm just going to be the loser.
Give me my money and I'll leave. Like, that's what's going on.
I'm just going to be the loser leaving with a pair of jeans and my car keys and wallet and going to mommy and daddy's house because that's all I have.
Yes. And so he is going through this whole cycle of yelling these things. And that's what we're hearing, right? Is like, fine, I'll leave, but you give me money. You have to pay. Like, he's still yelling at me. And I am in the basement. And I am just sitting there on the edge of the couch. And then he comes downstairs. And I was like my heart jumped, like sank. I don't know what, like I about died in that moment. Like that he came down the stairs and he stood across the length of a couch. Like the couch is on the wall. So I'm in the corner and the other end of the couch is where the entryway into the basement is. And I'm sitting there and I looked at him and he's yelling at me and then he stops and he looks at me and he looks at the dresser behind me and he says, I see what's going on here. And he storms back upstairs and he's like, fine, I'll pack my stuff. No, I'm not leaving. And it continues. And I hear stuff breaking and being thrown around in rage. And I call Tom. So I got up because it was weird. This is like weird. Like, I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, because so you have a dresser downstairs because when your son lived there, his room, that was his room.
This was, my son had lived in the basement and he, he had lived there and he had moved out and he had all this stuff. Like, there was still stuff of his dresser was still down there, like still stuff of his, but he didn't live there at the time. And so it was really weird, just really, really weird. Like, supernaturally weird, like, in a way, like it had a whole, like, he just froze.
Yeah, it like something, the dresser snapped him out of it, which is a weird thing to be snapped out of a rage. Yeah.
Yes, for just a moment, and he stormed upstairs, and then I just hear my house being destroyed. So I call Tom, and I said, you have exactly, now this is a Saturday, and he's at men's breakfast. He answers my call. And I said, you have 2 minutes to get over here and get your son out of my house or I am calling the cops. And I hung up. I've never seen Tom get to my house so fast. That's all I did. I said, you have exactly 2 minutes.
I would love to know what he said to those men for him to get up and, because he had to have been like, ah, shit.
And he was at my house, literally. He was there because the next thing, I hung up the phone and I hear Tom's voice and he goes, you need to get out of this house now. And he starts spewing, Froggy starts spewing at his dad all of the things that he's been saying for the last, I really feel like we're on like 30, 45 minutes of this at this point.
Yeah.
And he's like, she owes me $5,000. And I kid you not, Tom says, I will give you $5,000 to get out of this house right now.
Wow.
And my house got silent. And he left. It was obnoxious that Tom was like, I will pay you. I will give you $5,000 if you leave this house right now.
We're not going to acknowledge that our child has problems. We're not going to get him help. We are going to gaslight his wife that she's the problem. And then we're going to pay him to leave.
Yeah.
In the middle of a manic, abusive episode.
Yep. The man went silent. My house went silent. And he left with his dad.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, did you ever figure out what the dresser thing was all about?
At some point in the next whatever, because that was so weird, of course it was running around in my brain, and I can't tell you exactly when I figured it out, but it occurred to me, my son owns guns, and I feel like that's why he would never go in the basement. I think he thought that I had a gun in the basement, and that's why I would send my kids down there.
Because maybe your son left one for you.
And I feel like he thought that I was sitting in front of that dresser because there was a gun in there to protect myself from him. It was an imaginary thought. Maybe it was God just planting that thought in his head. But it took me, I didn't think of it right away. It had to have been like a week. I don't know. I ruminated on it for however long. And it occurred to me, I was like, he thought there was a gun in there. Like, he was yelling at me and realized, and so that was it. Me sitting in front of the dresser is he was like, she's going to shoot me. Like, I hadn't even moved. Like, I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
And so whatever it was, but that's honestly 100% what I think it was. The thought of there being a gun. And I feel like that's why he would never go downstairs. And that's why that worked. Because like I said, that's the first time that he ever went downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And normally what would happen is, I think he thought, and I just had this thought. I think he thought I was always going down in the basement. I would send my kids, like I said, their
Yeah.
protocol was to go down in the basement. But I hid in a closet upstairs
Mm-hmm.
on the main level.
So,
My coat closet.
yeah. So
like
if
I had a spot, the stuff that's like you have the coats hanging down.
yeah,
I had boxes like on the floor, like your storage.
yeah,
And I had a spot, a gap, because I could open that door silently and I could crawl into that gap. And if he opened that door, you couldn't see me.
yeah,
I think he thought I went in the basement
every single time.
every single time because he never went down in the basement. Because he knew the kids were down there. But I never went down there because that door is right next to the basement door, so I could still hear everything and be
Mhm.
ready to
Yeah. So if he
go after
Yeah.
him down in the basement if he went after my children or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But I always hid in the closet upstairs.
Huh.
So I think he thought we had a gun in the basement. And that's
Yeah.
what-
That makes
whatever.
total
The
sense.
imaginary gun that protected my children, the imaginary gun that saved my life that day. So he leaves for $5,000, right? Whatever. So he leaves. I clean up my house. And I decided right then and there that, and maybe not right then and there, my next step was to go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had the realization that I was like, I hadn't even had the realization that, like, I didn't have to leave my house yet. Like, it all just, like, slowly, like, do. But over the next, that's a Saturday, I went to therapy the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had the realization that I have been doing this my whole life and I'm done. And so whatever it is within me that attracts this, I'm going to fix that because I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
This is never happening again at all. And so the money that I had like stashed away, I used for therapy. I spoiled my children, right? Like, I used it to get back on, like, to keep now I'm on my own and I have this buffer and I don't have to get a hotel room now. And so I started investing in myself and my children with that money and getting us to a place where you're never coming back. I don't need you.
Yeah.
I had already shown that I don't need you. I can support myself. I have an amazing job. I can support myself. Everything's great. And so I sat down that week. I had been researching therapists already, like on and off in the last little bit. So this wasn't like you just decided to go to therapy. I had already decided, like, I had already been looking for help, right? And so counseling things had already popped up and whatever. But the decision to actually do it and take that step to make that phone call came after that incident of I'm going to figure this out. I'm never doing this again. And so I took a chance on this place that had like a free introductory session.
Mm-hmm.
And try it out for free. And if you like it, great. You know, if you don't, maybe we could try matching you up with somebody else, right? But I really liked the vibe of the place online. So I was like, and I could make an online appointment, which is perfect for me. So I just was like, it asked you, like, it was kind of like, you know, you making your hair appointment. What stylist do you want? Like, you could pick a counselor or you could pick any counselor. Right. And so I totally left it up to chance. I tell you, the lady that I got paired with was freaking phenomenal. She was perfect for me. Like, it was amazing. I went, within that first week, I went to my first therapy session and I sat down and I told her, I said, I feel like I fell into a pit 9 years ago and I have spent 9 years trying to claw my way out of it, and I just reached the top.
Yeah.
And because I spoke to her in that metaphorical visual language, like, this woman was amazing. Like, she, in that moment, was like, I got you. Like, I understand how you're speaking to me, and I will speak to you in that same metaphor language for the entire time that we work together. And so I knew after that first session, like, we got so far. Like, she was amazing. And I now had her in my corner, and I had actual real help to stay out of the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 weeks went by like clockwork. 2 weeks, no contact. And Froggy messages me like clockwork, like our whole cycle of the last 9 years. You leave, and 2 weeks later, somebody's reaching out to somebody.
Because, well, and if you look at it also, like, I don't know the dynamics of Froggy, but I know the dynamics of Tom and Charlotte.
Yeah.
And you have a solid probably 5 days of blaming from Tom and Charlotte. Oh yeah, she was wrong. My poor, I could hear Charlotte. Oh no, she needs to let you lead. That's, and Tom, this is why, you don't go for these headstrong women, and, blah, 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 blah. And then there's an ignoring period where we're just going to pretend like, okay, we're done talking about it. We're done, And then there comes the period of, you cannot tell me Tom was happy with having his baby boy in his house. You're annoying.
Nobody's happy that he's in their house.
And
now you have to do something. You need to be an adult.
Yeah, because he's either going to... Tom does one of two things in these situations. We've seen it with what he did to Brandy when us girls were put on timeout. You see it with... He's done it to Froggy also, like with the building of the building. You are in trouble, so you are going to spend every second of every day right here with me so I can train you on how to be a proper person. And then you're going to get annoyed that he's up your ass all day long and you're pissed off and he needs to be gone. Or you're going to tell him he needs to figure himself out, and you're going to expect that to happen within 1 or 2 days. A week goes by and you're like, you're a grown-ass man. You can't just sit in my basement and mooch off of me and your mom.
Yeah. And you can't smoke pot.
Yeah.
You can't smoke cigarettes, right? Like, you got to go outside. Like, you are not in your own space. But he had gotten to a point with, like, the pot now that it was very undetectable, but it still wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Right. And, yes, whatever.
Well, because at this point in time in Colorado, we are far past you have to smoke a joint.
Yeah.
To consume pot.
Yeah, exactly. And so, your choices are go live with your drug friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're going to go live with your drug friends. You're going to get a new girlfriend. You're going to find another woman to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going back to your wife.
Yeah. Because heaven knows he's not going to grow the hell up and be a man and get a place for himself.
Right. And over the last 9 years, you after 2 weeks, you just go back and start all over again. And you go through this cycle of, I'm going to be good. And then I'm good for 2 weeks. And then I'll just go back to my life, but you're my place to live. Like, you're my meal check. Like, so he texts on the timer went off, ding, ding, time to text my wife. And I'm not having it.
What did he say? Like, hey girl, hey.
No, he was like, it was, it was like, so do I get to come home now? Like, that kind of a thing.
No, like, hey, I'm really sorry. I realized I was wrong.
No. So, are you, oh, no, that's what it was. Are you done being mad at me yet? That's what he said. That was the text. Are you done being mad at me yet? And I said, this isn't about being mad at you. This is about like
We're done.
This is about a bigger issue, and we're done, right? Like, and I was very calculated during this time. There was a huge fear in my house about what he would do.
Yeah.
I had to be very, very careful and choose my words very, very carefully. And this went on. This was June. And we're 2 weeks. He starts talking. And like I have to almost entertain it slightly, like just enough. I have to entertain him talking to me just enough to not piss him off, but also hold firm to you're not coming back.
Yeah.
And it was a time of like this really like gentle tension of push-pull, right? Like it was very like, no, you're not coming back. And I'm working on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% dedicated and focused to working on me. And this goes on. So in July, like I took my kids camping. And he was blowing up my phone the whole time. Right? And I would I would respond. But for anybody who doesn't understand, like I have to entertain these conversations. Because the alternative is because he didn't just go away.
Yeah. If you ignore it, that could reignite the rage.
He's coming to my house and he's harming us,
Yeah.
right? Like there is a real true fear.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't want to answer your phone? You have to deal with me face to face.
Yes. And so up until October, there was I never initiated a conversation. Mm-hmm. I did not text him. But he would text me and then I would engage. And then when he couldn't get his way, I would get blasted with rage texts and threats.
Yeah.
And so we were on this like roller coaster. And I'm like, and so he's like, we need to go to like, here are the themes, right? That happened between June and October. But I'm living my life with my children.
Mm-hmm.
And I took them camping and we're doing things, right? And Halloween's coming up, right? Like I'm living my life. I'm rebuilding my life. I'm in therapy. I am focused on myself and my children and rebuilding my life. And he's interjecting every so many days, like, we need to go to therapy. Like, I'm sorry. And as I'm like, you have to go get help.
Yeah.
You need to go get help. I am in therapy. I'm focused on me. We need to be focused on our marriage. No, you need to focus on you. I need to focus on me. And if for some reason that yields coming back together, then great. But that's not going to be anytime soon.
And you were using, because I remember you showing me these text message threads, and you were using the Bible verses of like, it is good for people to be apart from each other so that they could focus on themselves and their relationship with the Lord, and then come back together better.
Continually throwing the Bible in my face. Another issue was, well, are you going to a Christian counselor? No, I'm not. Because I don't want that. I had made a deliberate decision that I don't want Christianity or the Bible in any of my counseling. I know the Bible. I know my relationship with God, and I can, decipher what applies and what doesn't for myself. That's where I was.
In your experience, it has been used as a weapon against you in certain situations to get you to comply. And so if you're trying to work on yourself, the last thing you want is that weapon to be used against you again.
Yeah. So key things that happened during this time is, we've talked about the roller coaster. So I am not initiating any.
Yeah, you're responding, you're not initiating.
Yeah, I'm responding, not initiating. If I say the wrong thing, I ignore him too long. I mean, like he would text, I'm at work. I am not on my phone. I'm at work. Why didn't you respond to my, why didn't you respond to me? Dude, I'm at work because I'm at work.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing things.
Because I have a job. Maybe you should try that. It'd be great for you.
Okay. So that's going on, and I'm in therapy, and therapy's going really well, right? And we get to this point in therapy where, because she's using my analogy, my metaphor, my language, and she's like, okay, well, it's very much like you have crawled out of the pit and he's still in the pit. And he's just down there, and she like paints this whole picture. She's like, I can see what you're saying. He's just sitting down there in the pit, and you keep looking back in the pit, like, you ready to come out of the pit yet? Or he's like, hey, I'm ready to come out of the pit. And you're like, are you sure you're ready to come out of the pit? And then you start talking, and then he acts like a wild animal and tries to pull you back down in the pit. And so this is where we are in this part of my therapy. Like, this is how far we've gotten. And I know that I'm not going back in the pit. And she's helping me through these engagements with him when he reaches out. And so another thing that came up during this time is when I first met him, he had like a heart issue type thing where he would have an overactive racing heart. Like randomly, he had been to the doctor for it, whatever. It's a thing. I don't know what it is, right? So he had that and had these like attacks of like this irregular heartbeat. And he had been to the doctor, and they said, you need to come when you're having it so that we can hook you up and see what's going on, right? That's what he told me. In the 9 years of our marriage, it only happened once. It was happening regularly before he met me. And then over the course of the 9 years we were together, it happened one time. And that was during the time when he was like trying to come back from when he had taken off to go be a drug addict, and I should have left him there, and I didn't. I went and hunted him down. It had happened during that transition back.
Like,
detox? No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But I also like, when you carry that much stress and trauma in your body.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Like, that's actually a symptom of things that can happen. But supposedly it's a symptom of something else. Okay. So I had often thought about the fact of like, that's weird that this had never happened. It happened when he was trying to come back. But after the 2 weeks, it started happening regularly again. Okay. So whatever you've got going on in your world, the lack of stability and the situation that we're in, and me actually leaving you has obviously had an effect to where your body is physically reacting to that, and you're having this again. And so we have health insurance, and he is like, can I go and can I use the insurance, and can I go to the doctor because I'm having these issues again and I really want to get it taken care of? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, we have health insurance, right? And I know that sounds weird, and it sounds like maybe we're trying to work it out. I'm not trying to work it out with him. I'm trying to stay alive. And I'm trying to be open to like, you're not coming back. But I also like, if you went to therapy and you got help.
Yeah.
And you can prove over a certain, like, to me, it's like an eternity. Like, you'd have to prove for so long.
Yeah.
Like, you'd almost have to prove for 9 years that. So I didn't make a decision to get a divorce right away. I'm trying to get out of this, but I'm also trying to get help. So I'm not like, no, we're done, divorce, done.
Well, and I feel like because I asked you these questions, like, during this time, and I was like, why don't you just divorce him? Like, just why are you not getting a divorce? And you're like, because when things were good, they were good. And you had that hope that like, if he could just get the help he needed, he could be that
Yeah.
Froggy that you truly had good times with.
Yeah. And I mean, there is the Hail Mary, and no, I don't want him back at this point, but also this is when I started deconstructing all the things of
Yeah.
like, I still have all of the conditioning of the cult. Like, you don't get a divorce, right? So there's lots of phases of this
Mm-hmm.
where you don't get a divorce, you try to work it out, but I am holding to, you will go to counseling.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we need to go to Christian marriage counseling. I am not going to marriage counseling with you until you go to counseling yourself. Like, that's not happening. It's not happening. And I'm in therapy and I'm loving therapy. And I know that this is going to lead me to being able to make those decisions, right? And so you and I have had these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You, me, and Brandy have had these conversations. And I'm like, I'm just not making a decision right now because I don't even know. And that's what came up in therapy too, was that I don't trust myself to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make any decisions right now. I did not realize at the time how much trauma had affected my ability to make decisions, that I literally couldn't make a decision. It wasn't that, like, it wasn't a confidence thing. It was, I was so in a place of flight for so long. I was physically ill. I had autoimmune issues. My brain was mush.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that people understand that that's what abuse and trauma does, is it physically has an effect on your ability to think, live, be physically, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in my life, I was getting real help, and that real help felt good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with my counselor, but I don't trust myself to make a decision. Right?
Yeah.
And so in my counseling at this point, we're at he keeps trying to pull you back into the pit. And then we get the stimulus check in the mail.
The third one, because we've gotten we
Yeah.
got like 3 or something.
Yeah, or whatever. So
Yeah.
we get a check in the mail. This is all right before October. Sometime before the middle of October-ish, right? And I have to contact him for the very first time since June. He has contacted me. I have engaged in these conversations. It goes so far. He rages out, sends me rage texts. We're going through the cycle, but I'm not allowing you to have access to me.
Yeah.
Other than through these text messages, which I only respond to when I deem appropriate.
Yeah. Which I've read these text messages and we can't even read them up. Like, our podcast would get canceled. Like,
yeah. So yes, you're threatening to kill me. You're threatening to kill my children.
yes.
And like,
And
but we are no
just the
contact.
vile, hateful, unspeakable
things
things that he is
about
saying.
me.
Yeah.
And then we go back to love bombing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I love you
We
so
should
much.
get
You're
help.
perfect for me.
You're wonderful. You're amazing. How can I live with that? Whatever. Shut up. Okay. So I have to contact him. Well, I don't have to. But I had a sense of, I didn't really want to get in, like, I was like, I could forge his signature on this check and I could put it into the account and I could go about my life.
Yeah.
But also, if he finds out, that could be the thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is how scared of this man I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fine, I will contact him. So I send him a text and I say, hey, we got a stimulus check in the mail and I need your signature. What would you like to do with this check?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God we're in a love bombing phase. So I was like, I will split. I was like, do you want, like, are we going to, like, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to split it? Like, I gave him options. Do you want to split it? What do you want to do with it? Like, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I think we should do, is just split it. Fine. I really actually want it all, but I'll split it with you. And so he says, yeah, I can come by the restaurant and sign it over to you. Can you just give me a couple $100 and you can have the rest? And this is like a $1,500 check.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Absolutely. Well, because I was thinking about it and like, oh, and so something else that had happened, which has to do with by the time this check showed up, his ex-wife had contacted him and said, hey, do you have the paperwork that proves that I should be getting, it takes a long time for the IRS to send the money, right? So like we had gotten our tax return, but for the money to go through the IRS and into the child support account. So this is before October. We're not in October at this point. I want to make sure I get all these details that connect. She had contacted him and said, if you have the paperwork that shows your tax return is going to me, I will forgive the rest of your debt now that your daughter's 18 and
Yeah, then you can be done. Yeah.
So at some point before October, he had contacted me. I had sent him over the paperwork. I emailed it to him, the document that showed that she was getting the rest of his tax return.
Yeah.
She forgave all of his child support debt, whatever was left. It was just a couple $1,000s, whatever, right? So he was free and clear. And somehow in his mind, like he was like, I owe you that money or something like that, right? Okay, so he went from leaving my house in June and I owed him $5,000 to he was wrong and he owes me $5,000. Okay?
Whatever. Sure, Froggy.
Whatever. That has everything to do with this check too. And he's like, no, you just keep it because I owe you so much. You've done so much for me. And I like, you paid off my child support and blah, 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 blah. And I owe you this money. Whatever you do. You really do. Honestly, you did.
Yeah.
Like you really owed. And I was like, yeah, you do. You owe me this money, right? Like, so he comes to the restaurant and signs the check. I cash it. I sent him a couple $100. We're good. Right? A couple nights later, my car won't start. And it's 1:00 in the morning because I'm just getting off of work. And he had been texting me, so I know he's awake. Nobody else in my life is awake, right? So I texted him. I was like, hey, since you're awake, the car won't start. Is there any chance you could pick me up, give me a ride home so I can get home tonight? Because it's 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're awake. Because you're the only person I know who's doing drugs to stay awake all night. At your parents' house. So he comes and picks me up. And he was very pleasant. He was very nice. We talk. He gives me a ride home. That's it. Okay. Do I regret that? No, not necessarily, right? That's not on my list of like, I shouldn't have, like, it was, yeah, it was dumb probably, right? So then he starts in with, it was so nice to see you, right? Like it did open the door for more love bombing. And
because now you asked him for something.
Yep. So
he feels like she needs me.
Yeah, something is working, right? And so this is October now. Like this is in October, okay? And so this led to like, let me take you out to dinner and I'm ready to get help.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like if I have to go to counseling? Like I'm willing to go get help.
Yeah, let's talk about it in a public place like dinner and
let me take you out to dinner and let's talk about this. So something that I did prior to October was I took my children on a zip lining weekend. We went down to Manitou Springs in southern Colorado. We did this whole camping trip in like a cabin and we went zip lining and and it was my 3 daughters, and we went and just had a blast. Life was becoming so good.
Mhm.
Like so good.
It was like that freedom that you had felt when he was gone during COVID
Yeah.
was becoming normal life again.
Yeah. And now I've been in counseling for a few months. Life is good. I'm working on me. We're regaining, like some of the fear is kind of subsided a little bit that he's not going to do anything because now it's been a few months, right? We still do have the rage texts, but
yeah. But also
and
he came, he picked you up, he took you home. If he was gonna,
he gave me more money he gave
Yeah.
me $1,000 in the check, right? I sent him like $200. You know what I mean?
So if he was gonna
So
do something,
good.
he could have done something the night he took you home, and
Right.
he didn't.
Yeah.
So
Right. And so this is a phase of navigating. Am I getting a divorce? Am I not? We have to separate. Like I have to work all this stuff out. And this is where my mind is at. I am going to work this out as long as it takes for me to work it out. Whether we end up married, whether we end up divorced, I am not rushing. I'm healing. I'm fixing. I'm rebuilding.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just going to take as long as it takes. That's where my head is at. That's my space. And so, yes, I'm willing to go to dinner with you. Right. And let's talk about you going to counseling and what that's going to look like and what we're doing.
Yeah. And dinner in a public place seems safe.
Like I totally have to deal with this man. That isn't just, we live in the same town, right? Like there's a lot to unpack. I don't have any option but to deal with this man. And so we go to dinner, and this is the thing I regret, is I should have met him at the restaurant. I allowed him to pick me up. I allowed him to take me on a date. And that's the first thing that I regret. And so we go to this restaurant, and we're having a very nice dinner, and we're talking about things, and I'm talking about how my counseling is going, and he's still like, I just really think you should be a Christian counselor. And I'm like, look, I have enough discernment and enough knowledge. Like, it's okay. I can relate.
Which also, like, at this point, you're not going to come as you are.
No, I'm not going to church.
Yeah.
He's going to church.
He's at come as you are. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's also a caveat if you're going to live at mommy and daddy's.
But he's still also up at 3:00 in the morning, often sending me text messages while I'm sleeping. Yeah. But you're living at mommy and daddy's house, but you're not doing drugs. You just have insomnia. It's fine. I understand. Anyway, so we're having this conversation, and he's continually telling me, now he's like, no, I know who I am. This is who I am. I like who I am. Okay? So you want to be a drug addict. You want to be single. Like you want to go live your life. You want to do all these things. You're happy being abusive. You're happy. Like you are justified. Like he's still justifying everything he's ever done. It's all my fault, right? And it's in subtleties. This is not an angry conversation. This isn't, it's your fault. This is like, well, in situations like where I get pushed to the limit, I don't respond appropriately. But there's no accountability.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the same as Tom standing on stage anytime he publicly screams at someone or someone finds out that he had screamed at someone in the office. It was I try really hard to control my anger, and I try, but, I'm just a human sometimes. And sometimes I get pushed to the point where I allow my emotions to take over me and, and
that's my thorn in my side.
Yeah.
And,
because we deflect blame.
Yeah. And so as this conversation goes on, like I am not buying any of it, and I'm not. And so there's tense moments throughout this dinner of me because I'm like, Well, that's fine. I'm like, well, if that's who you want to be, that's fine. I accept you the way you are. But that's not somebody I want to be in a relationship with. So this isn't going to work out.
Mhm.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
Like, I fully accept who you are. We met under these false pretenses. It's totally fine.
Mhm.
Like, that's fine. But my answer is always, well, that person is not somebody I want to be in a relationship with.
Mhm.
If you want to be, well, how long is it going to take? I don't know how long it's going to take. You're going to have to, like, if you want to be the person that I want to be in a relationship with, there's a lot of work that you have to do. And for me to once again want to be in a relationship with you, I'm going to have to see that.
Mhm.
And if I don't know if that's going to take 6 months, a year. So I have to live at my parents' house separated from you for a year. I don't know how long. But I will not live with you until these things are met.
Yeah, but on the bright side, you could do Master Life twice in that time.
Yeah, like really, seriously. We just keep going to church and see who you turn out to be. But also, you're telling me, I mean, this conversation was so insane because on one hand, he'd be like, I want to be this guy, the fake guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're telling me that you're the fake guy. And then in the same sentence, you would tell me that you want to be the evil guy. Like, I don't, like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, I honestly don't know how else to describe it to you. He'd be like, no, I'm Jekyll. I'm a good man. I'm Hyde. I'm a horrible, evil person, right? Like, I don't even know if I have those straight. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, the most insane conversation. And there would be moments of tension, and then we'd change the subject. And at one point in the conversation, I was talking about, because, like, what are you doing, right? I don't know. I'm doing stuff, right? And he'd be like, I just sit around and I'm miserable and I should just die because I don't have a life, And I'm like, well, then go do stuff. What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's just like this, it was lost on him. I'm like, if you want to go and have an adventure, go have an adventure. Oh, woe is me. I'm in my mom and dad's basement and life is awful and I can't do anything. Why not? Why not? Why can't you decide that you want to go and do something and go do it?
Yeah, why do you have to have someone with you?
Your life is so great without me. Yeah, you're right, it is. But your life could be, no, my life is miserable without you, right? Like, this is the narrative. So this conversation is getting nowhere. And so, like I said, we're changing subjects and these are the things that are being brought up. And then I'm talking about I took the girls zip lining and I'm talking and I'm pretending we're on a date, right? Like, now we're back to normal conversation. And I look over at the table, I look across the table at him, and I kid you not, like, it's like a light switch. He went from pleasant and like his whole demeanor changed and the life left his eyes. And I looked at him and I said, this dinner's over. I'm leaving. Like, whatever he said, I don't remember what he said, but literally it was like we had a tense moment. We brought it back to like, how's the weather conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, when I had gone ziplining and da-da-da-da-da, and his whole demeanor changed. And he said something to me and I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. And I grabbed my stuff and I walked out of the restaurant. I'm leaving. I'm done and I'm leaving. He had said something like, but just the physical change to his body, whatever I had said triggered something. And he went from, because we're not in private, so there's no rage.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I wish I could remember what he said, but he just looked at me and he said something. And I was like, yeah, you're a freaking psychopath. Like, I'm done. Like, we're never doing this. I will never speak to you, talk to you. I will never have anything to do with you ever again. And I grabbed my stuff. I walked out of the restaurant and I was standing out there and I was looking to who I was going to call.
Mm-hmm.
And he paid the tab and he came out. And this is mistake number 2. It was like, I'm sorry. Let me give you a ride home. Like this is ridiculous. Who are you going to call? And I'm looking, like, figuring out how I'm going to get home. And I'm like, no, I'm done. Like, we're done. And he's like, I know, we can be done. That's fine. I'm sorry. Let me just take you home and we'll be done. And I got in the truck. And that's the second thing that I regret.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just walked home. Like, honestly, until I figured out who to call, I should have just walked home. So I get into the truck and we're driving. He's driving me home. And the conversation is, he's like, do you mean we're really done? And I'm like, no, we're done. We're done. This is over. And he's being very calm. And we're having this conversation. And he's like, there's nothing that I can do. And I'm like, no, we're done. And we get closer and closer to the house. And instead of turning in my neighborhood, he keeps driving. And he says the infamous words of, if I can't have you, nobody can. And if we're done, we're done. And he turns to go off to, like, we live in a rural area. And so he turns down the next road. And I folded my hands in my lap, like I closed my eyes. I don't know what I did physically. Like, I just grabbed onto something, whether it was my hands together or the car door or my leg. And I closed my eyes and I was like, I am going to die tonight. This is it. This is the end of my story. This is where I die. And I don't know if I verbally said, oh God. Like, I know within my mind, I was like, oh God. And not like, dear God. I was, oh God, I am going to die. And he said, it's not going to help you to pray. Like, go ahead. He's like, go ahead and pray. It's not going to help you. And I said, F-U-C-K. Like, I don't know if I can say that. I'm like, I don't know what else. I was like,
Yeah.
Beep. And there's a back entrance to my neighborhood. And this was the longest 30 seconds of my life. And he turned into my neighborhood. Like, I thought we were going out to the fields behind my house. Like, we were headed out that way. But then all of it, and I had my eyes closed and the truck turned. And I opened my eyes and we're in the neighborhood. And I got out of the truck. He stopped at the stop sign. I got out and started walking home. I jumped right out. And he's got his window down and he's following me. And he's like, I'm sorry. Like, a moment of sanity saved my life. Like, I honestly believe until he saw that entrance into my neighborhood that he was going to go kill me. And then he came to,
Yeah,
I don't know.
For whatever reason.
Whatever reason, for 30 seconds, he made the right decision. Yeah. I got out of the car. He drove, yelling at me, apologizing, threatening me, apologizing, threatening me, apologizing, threatening me, all the way that I walked a half mile, because from that entrance to my house is a half mile. And I walked to my house. I turned around and he stopped in front of my house and I was walking and he spouted a Bible verse at me. And I turned around and I said, don't you ever talk to me about the Bible. And he looked at me and he said, why? Because I'm a demon? And I turned around and I said, no, because you have no idea what you're talking about. And I walked into my house and locked the door and he drove off. And then 2 days later, he's in my driveway. Like, he knocked on my door 2 days later. I refused to answer. And I said, get off my property or I'll call the cops from inside. Get off my property or I'll call the cops. Get off my property or I'll call the cops. He goes back to his car and he's writing furiously in his car. And I crack open the door and I said, get off my driveway. I am calling the cops right now. And he starts backing his car up. I closed and locked the door. He gets out of the car, puts a note on my porch, drives away. I'm sorry, note. Please take me back. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Blah, 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 whatever. I don't even know, right? Shows up the next day with a gift. I'm like, no, like, absolutely not. Like, go away. I'm like, we're done. We're done. I take my daughters to Estes Park. We're having lunch. I post a picture on Facebook. He comments while I'm at lunch, like right after I post this picture, he comments threatening me and my daughters, like, you're in our spot. Like, it was weird.
On Facebook for where everyone could see.
Everybody to see. He makes the most, like, vile, like, statement on Facebook. I delete his post. I block him on Facebook. I block him everywhere. I just blocked him. You cannot contact me anymore. I will deal with the ramifications. Like, I will do whatever I need to do to deal with. So we're on high alert at my house now because I just, nope, we're done. Whatever happens. We're done. Don't care.
You have done to the narcissist what everyone is terrified to do to the narcissist. You cut him off.
Yep, completely. Blocked him. And, like, because I have voice messages of, like, the demonic voice guy. I'm a fucking guy. So, I mean, I have recorded messages of, like, all times of night, all times of day, of threats and just vile, nasty stuff, and just blocked messages and everything, right? So,
and it was concerning enough that, like, Justin and I had a conversation, and I told you, like, if you need to go, like, we were ready to, like,
bring you in at any moment.
Yep, Melissa and the girls are going to come stay here, and for one, we don't think that Froggy would ever think that you were here, and for two, he would never come here with Justin here.
Right. Yeah. And so, like, I'm taking all the steps. And so, because I work at night, the girls' dad is coming over, right? So he's coming over every night.
Yes.
To have dinner with them, to be a man in the house.
So they are not alone. Yep.
My oldest son has, because that's an unfortunate thing. Is, like, my oldest son had really just stayed away because of how awful it was, and I was choosing to be in that relationship, so he just stayed away, but he started coming back around. And so I have a great support network, and we are being very cautious, right? And I did the thing that you're not supposed to do, right? So I completely block him, and I get back to life, and I'm working with my counselor and putting my life back together, and nothing happens. And then December and nothing happens. So, we're going about life, and every day gets easier, and time it gets better. And then I get to open enrollment at work. And so I'm doing all the things that I need to do to separate everything, right? Bills, legally separated, like, all the things that I need to do to separate us. We're done. I've blocked you.
Yeah.
And done. We're done. Okay. And so it's open enrollment. I take him off my health insurance at work, right? Because I am legally separating everything. We're done. And
why should you have to pay the health insurance of someone who has threatened to kill you and your children?
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
I'm changing all of my things, right? We are being separated. And then he emails me because I have him blocked everywhere else, but I didn't block him on email. Like, I didn't even think about it. Like, you've never contacted me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it's email, right? He emailed me because he went to the doctor and he didn't have health insurance.
Oh, so he started having heart stuff again and decided he was going to go to the doctor, and you had taken him off your insurance, and he was like, oh, shit.
But check this out. He asked way before October.
Mhm.
Like, this was within the first, like, after he started contacting me after those 2 weeks, within the first month, he was like, I need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, and you said, yeah, go. Yeah.
Go to the doctor. The first time he went to the doctor was in November. I blocked him like in October, on October 26th. Is like I blocked him.
So if it was that big of a traumatic thing and it was such a serious health problem, why did it take you over a month to go to the doctor?
No, yeah, I said yes in July.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so why did it take you like...
Yes, you could go to the doctor like in the beginning of July.
4 months to go to the doctor.
I blocked you. Told you I'm never talking. Like, the last thing I said to you was because you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm calling the cops on you. Get off of my property.
And it's not like he has a job or anything like that. That is like taking up all of his time. He just had no time to go to the doctor.
You're blocked. You're blocked on Facebook, on my phone. We are no contact. Relationship over. And in November, after I told, like, we're done. Like, it's very clear. It's very apparent. We are no longer going to be married. This relationship is over. Divorce is happening, right? Like, it's going to happen. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts that I'm never speaking to you ever again. And a week later, you go to the doctor in November. And they start a treatment plan. And he has to go to the doctor regularly. So he goes to the doctor like 4 times in November. And then tries to go. He not only went in November, he had a procedure in December. Like, I don't even, like, I'm trying to remember how this all lines up. So anyway, he goes to the doctor and he has these regular appointments and he ends up having a procedure. And then he goes, like, maybe it must have been January, because
like some like follow-up appointment.
It takes 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So he went in November and December, and then he went to go to a follow-up appointment in January, and he gets denied. He ended up with $11,000 in medical bills over that, because he went to the doctor in the time the insurance, because I canceled it. So it all legitimately made sense. So he sends me this email and he's like, what the hell? Like, I'm going to sue you. Like, that's illegal. And I don't know, all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know, right?
Oh my gosh.
Like, that's illegal. You couldn't do that or whatever. And I was like, first of all, it was open enrollment. So I go in and I look at my insurance app, right? And I'm like, first of all, it was open enrollment. We're legally separated. We're getting a divorce. And you went to the doctor after I blocked you. You're a freaking dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, none of this is my problem that you decided to go to the doctor. Like, what part of I never want to talk to you again do you not understand? Like, I sent him the most, like, you didn't do anything when I went no contact. I just blasted him.
Yeah.
Like, not cruelly, not meanly, but I was like, we are done.
Yeah.
I blocked you. You are a dumbass for going to the doctor after I blocked you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I didn't necessarily call him a dumbass, but like,
Yeah, like what did you think? I was just going to
Yeah.
keep paying for your stuff?
like I sent him a dissertation.
Yeah.
My open enrollment. I took you off. You are no longer a part of my life. You are no longer on my, like, hello.
Yeah.
If you had gone to the doctor in July when I told you it was fine, we wouldn't be having this problem, but you waited till after I blocked you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, you're going to owe me. I'm like, really? Because you said you were going to pay me $5,000. So we could just call it even then, right? And that's the last that I heard from him. Well, then I get a phone call from Tom. And Tom is like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, good. What's up? And he's like, I don't understand what's going on with the insurance. Can you explain it to me? And I said, sure. In July, Froggy asked me if he could go to the doctor. And I said, yes. I said, he's a psychopath. He tried to kill me. He held me hostage. Like I told him, like,
Yeah.
just look, here's the deal. I blocked him. I told him we were done. I made it very clear that this marriage was over. He then decided to go to the doctor after that. He then decided to have a procedure. My open enrollment came around. I took him off. We are legally separated. We are getting a divorce. This is over. Not my problem. And he goes, okay, I understand all that. How much is it? Can you go over the bills with me? Because I don't understand he doesn't understand what he owes or what is going on. So I opened up my app and I said, he went to the doctor on this date. This was paid. He went to the doctor on this date. This was paid. He did this. This was not covered. He did this. This was not covered. He has a bill for this. I will email you all of these bills and you can take care of it. Goodbye. The next thing, the last time I heard Froggy didn't have a truck anymore. His dad sold it.
Yeah, his dad sold his truck to pay his medical bills.
Dad paid $11,000 of medical bills for him because he was a dumbass, right? So, oh, goodness gracious.
And keep in mind, at this point, this man is like approaching 50.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this is a grown-ass adult.
Yeah.
Like a full-on
grown-ass man.
Grown-ass adult. And so I went to work and, I was talking to my boss or whatever. And I was like, we were talking about stuff. I was talking to somebody and my boss came in the office and he looked at me and he says, what do you need to get away from this man? Completely. And I was like, well, I bought my car from his dad and I'm making payments.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, how much do you owe? And I told him, and he handed me cash for that right then and there. And so I got a hold of Tom and I said, I have cash for the car. And we met up. He gave me the title. And that's the last time I ever dealt with them. I paid my boss back. And, yeah. Like that was fortunate. He was like, he's like, what do you need? What do you need to just be unattached from this family? Yeah. Like,
but it still took you 8 months to get to that point.
Yeah. Like we went from he left my house on June 12th and this is the end of the year, like it was October when I blocked him.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't entertaining the idea, but I had to work through all that. I had no idea what to do. I wasn't confident in my decision making. I needed to rebuild I didn't know how bad it was. Like you feel like they're gone. Yay, everything's good. But I was so serious about fixing this with myself, and really working on it that I didn't even realize how deep it went and how much work I was going to have to do. I just knew I was never going to do this again.
Yeah.
And that led to, I mean, not only deconstructing my life and the trauma and pulling everything apart, but deconstructing my faith. Like, this is when I started to really just deconstruct everything. I wiped everything down to ground zero. And I was like, I'm not going to believe anything until I fully vetted it,
Yeah.
to coin a wonderful word that they love to throw around in cults. But yeah. And at this point with my counselor, like, we just got to a point of, she was like, okay, you've left the pit. You're not going in, right? You've moved far enough away from it. She goes, but now you set up camp and you're living outside the pit. Are you going to get up and walk away? And that opened a whole new level of, like, what? Like, I need therapy for my therapy. And I did. I really had to come face to face into terms with, since June, I had set up camp and was living outside of the pit. And she asked me that question. And I said, yeah, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk away from the pit. And I had no idea what that was going to look like. I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the first decision that I made in my new life.
Yeah.
Like, every other decision before that was trauma fueled. It was response. It was in my jello brain. And like, when I look back and I think about how messed up my physical brain, like, I'm talking about my brain had effects of like it didn't function.
Mm-hmm. And I like during this time, there was so much stuff that you're like, I thought this was because of my ADHD, or I thought this was just like, there was something wrong with me mentally. And it turned out it was trauma.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, the state that I was in as a human being when I went to therapy, like, was I don't know, mushy. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
like, that's just how I just, like, it was like a waif of a human being. And the first decision that I made for my new life was that I was going to get up and walk away from the pit, just down the little, like, I can picture it in my head too. Like, I'm so like visual like that. Like, I can picture this just dirt with little sprigs of grass campsite next to a big giant pit with one little dirt, just a little tiny dirt path, like, I've walked down so many of them when I hike, like, and I just got up and left everything there. And I walked away.
Burning Butterflies is a listener-supported podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by our amazing supporters on Patreon.
Follow the link in our show notes to learn how you can become a Patreon supporter too. Supporters get exclusive access to bonus content each month, including outtakes, cut content, and supporter-only episodes. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating on your listening platform.
Burning Butterflies is a production of Asha Media. Thank you for listening.